Genius Production.
This is A&B African Man Born. There's been a discussion going on around who owns hip hop. All right. Now, if you're talking about, you got to go back into the 40 years of hip hop discussion that KRS-One did overseas, where he talked about the 4 levels of hip hop. All right. And when you talk about the 4 levels of hip hop, the 4 existences of hip hop, you talk about the spiritual to the physical to the finite. The finite existence of hip hop, which is the music industry, which is the record labels, the royalties, the business, that's all finite. That's what they own. They own the music industry that allowed hip hop to become a genre within it to make money off of. So when you say who owns hip hop, that's what you're talking about. As far as the culture, hip hop culture always existed by way of the ones that were pioneered it. And it's not an ownership thing. Nobody owns hip hop, but the industry of hip hop, the industry of music industry of what we call hip hop, as far as the rap songs, the records, the record business, the all of that, yes, that is owned by the people that made it a genre. We didn't make it a genre. We kept the culture. We used the genre to push the culture. The culture in itself, once you sign those contracts and once you sign your music over and you register these things, that is owned by the music industry by way of whatever name owns the publishing and owns all these other things. Those things were created to pretty much standardize what we look at. Hip hop is a elemental culture, while rap music, DJing, graffiti, all of these things were things that we do that shows our track record of expression. It's like Paper Trail and all those other things. And there's some people monetizing off of rap, DJing. That industry that controls that makes it you able to go and travel and make money, that's owned by the industry. You know what I'm saying? The high-powered players that are all about money. And the reason why you see everything that's going on now as far as Diddy, Jay-Z, and the whole target to destroy the hip-hop moguls, because they're trying to usher in something new, which they're not going to be able to. Afrobeat is nothing new. People have been doing Afrobeat since the 1950s, 60s. Sun Ra was doing that. Not even just Sun Ra. Sun Ra was doing more jazz. But Fela Kuti and his whole family, his descendants, do that to this day. Afrobeat, real Afrobeat, because real Afrobeat is about messages. This Afrobeat is about industry and making money and boasting and doing other things and talking about sex and partying, which that has its place. But when you say actual, the industry, who owns the industry? The people that own the hip hop industry own the music industry, and that has nothing to do with hip hop, really. So nobody owns hip hop. I don't care. You can spin it how you want. You can say, yeah, they control that. Yeah, they control that. They control the young little Durks. And they control the Drakes. They control the people that sign those contracts and register their music through their platforms, right? Even if I register my music to the platform, doesn't mean you own me. I can take it off my platform because I own it, right? But that's just on the physical level. And paperwork-wise, I own all the paperwork and I do all that shit you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to who owns hip-hop, nobody owns hip-hop. Who owns the industry that controls the image and the likeness of hip-hop that gets put out there? Yes, those high-powered white folks and lawyers and accountants and big-time players that run the music industry, which is the 3 major players of finance, which is BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, right? Those guys run the industry that controls the narrative and the financial intake and output of what they say hip-hop is. But we know it's not hip-hop, because you can't own that. We don't own a culture. Cultures, exist through preservation. Culture is passed on, right? And you live within the culture. You don't live outside of it. You know what I'm saying? You live within the culture. So a lot of us that are hip-hop, we know better. So we don't even have those discussions with people because it's not even important. You know what I'm saying? The hip-hop industry is not important to us. Hip-hop culture is important to us. And when you live hip-hop culture, you just live it and you do what you got to do. Whether you're an MC, graffiti artist, breaker, you know what I'm saying? DJ, whether you go out there and you're pushing a message, whether you got a business that has to do with the culture, whether you are out there speaking the language and dressing in the clothes and the style that you wear your clothes and the way you walk and talk. It's a lifestyle. You can't own a lifestyle. You use it, you are part of it, you are in it, and then when you transition, somebody else is going to carry on these lifestyles and cultures and whatever, depending on how well we preserve it and how well people receive it. So nobody owns hip-hop. But in the sense of y'all talking about the industry. Well, the same people that run the Afrobeat industry, same people that run the hip-hop industry, same people that run the R&B industry, same people that run the rock industry, same people that run jazz and all these other things, those people run that industry. We are not industry. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop in itself is not industry. But think what you want. And I say to y'all that don't understand what I'm saying, ask some questions. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say. Peace. Peace. This is A&B African Man Born. I'm letting you know that I will be at the Electric Haze. The Electric Haze in Worcester, Mass. 26th Millbury Street. All right, along with Big Brother Sadi, Osa Amor, Natural Bliss, and others. Shout out to Piff Man. All right, DJ Drunk. We're going to be out there. I'm going to be celebrating my 16th album on November 30th, even though the album comes out November 9th. All right, on AfricanManBorn.com and the hard copies. But we're going to celebrate the release on the last day of the month of Hip Hop History Month, and also November. After the holiday, 2 days later, we're going to celebrate the album Greatness Over Dominance, G.O.D. All right, make sure you get that album when it comes out November 9th, and make sure you celebrate the album with us in Worcester November 30th. All right, peace.